There is an invisible threat lurking in many homes.
Well, you can't see it or smell it.
You can't smell it, you can't see it, and you can't taste it.
Colorless, odorless, and very dangerous.
Colorless, odorless, tasteless.
Colorless, odorless, tasteless.
Odorless, it's colorless.
Second leading cause of lung cancer.
21,000 people die of this every single year across the nation. If only they knew it could have been prevented by what I'm about to tell you. When it comes to buying a home in Michigan or anywhere across the globe, it's not far-fetched to say people tend to put all their focus on the financial risk of the home purchase, but never the environmental risk. Of course, when your offer is accepted, you get to the due diligence phase and you get that underway where you get a home inspector out there to do anything but complement the home to ensure you're making the best financial decision possible, as they create a lengthy grocery list of everything wrong with the home, what needs repairing, replacing, and this official report becomes a negotiation tool to throw back onto the seller, especially when some of the findings were unknown to them. All that just to say, the home buying process costs a lot of money, and when the home inspection comes, people get a little cheap and think they don't need all the bells and whistles just to find out they really did. So when I say environmental risks, I'm not talking about natural disasters or being in a flood zone. I'm talking about the silent killer, the odorless, colorless, and tasteless radioactive gas we call radon. Some of you may have heard of this while others haven't. Either way, I highly suggest you stick around because I'm sure there will be something you can take away from this. So what is radon gas exactly? Radon is a radioactive gas that naturally occurs as a byproduct of decay of uranium in the Earth's crust. It seeps through the ground and can accumulate in homes, especially in basements and lower levels. Being radioactive, it can damage lung tissue over time, leading to serious health consequences such as lung cancer as well as stomach cancer, as it can contaminate drinking water, according to a National Institute of Health report from 1999 that drinking radon in water causes about 20 stomach cancer deaths per year. It may not be a high statistic compared to the other death facts out there, but the goal is to make that zero. The difference between radon gas and other harmless pollutants you inhale is breathing radon does not cause any short-term health effects such as shortness of breath, coughing, headaches, or fevers. That's how it's earned its reputation of being a silent killer. Prolonged exposure to radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States right after smoking. This risk increases significantly in homes with high radon levels, making it a critical public health issue. In Michigan, where elevated radon levels are more common in several regions, public health officials stress the importance of regularly testing and mitigation. When there's talk about the health impacts of radon, it often gets brushed off, and that's why, in my opinion, this death count is so much higher. A lot of home inspectors or radon mitigation companies will tell you that as long as the radon gas level is under 4 pci-L or picocuries per liter of air, which is a measurement designated radon, you're okay. And that's a broad answer that doesn't keep in mind the daily habits and health conditions of each person living in the home with radon gas. Despite radon being the leading cause of lung cancer among non-smokers, there are many factors that cause lung cancer related to radon, such as cigarette smoking, of course, how old you are during exposure, the concentration of radon, the time of year, climate, source of water, and time spent in those heavily concentrated areas. There was an EPA assessment of risks from radon in homes conducted that showed the lifetime risks of lung cancer deaths, and if 1,000 people who smoked were exposed to X level of radon over a lifetime, this would be the outcome right here. 0.4 picocuries per liter would cause lung cancer to about 3 people. If the number was 1.3, it would be about 20 people, 2 people if they didn't smoke. If the number was 2.0, it would be about 32 people, or 4 people total if they didn't smoke. And when you get to that 4 number, that's about 62 people and 7 people if they didn't smoke. All that to say, if you or the people living in your home smoke, vape, have asthma, or have any breathing or lung problems at all, do yourself a favor and test for radon. And if it comes in less than 4, still consider getting a mitigation system so whoever it is that has lung problems doesn't become a part of that statistic as well. There were several studies done to show concrete evidence that radon exposure caused lung cancer. Tom Kelly, who is a former director of EPA's Indoor Environments Division, stated that after evidence was shared, We know that radon is a carcinogen. This research confirms that breathing low levels of radon can lead to lung cancer. So how exactly do you test for radon? Detecting radon is actually a pretty straightforward process with the help of DIY radon test kits available at local hardware stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, Ace, or online, of course. These kits are placed in the lowest habitable part of a home and left for a few days, typically 48 hours, before being sent to a lab for analysis. But keep in mind those tests can have skewed results, so I always recommend to heavily consider a radon test from a professional to alleviate any false negatives or positives. Most home inspectors have these devices, and it could cost $100 to $200 depending on the company to have them bring out to you and share the results after a couple days. But I would take my advice a step further, and instead of paying for that service as a one and done when buying or selling a home, you go online and purchase one of the devices yourself, because you really should be testing for radon every 2 to 3 years as the levels change quite frequently. So having that on hand would be a good idea and actually a little bit more cost effective in the long run. Okay, let's say you got a test done and your test results show it's at or more than 4 picocuries per liter of air. At that point, you should get a radon mitigation system without question, especially if you have a lung condition or are a smoker. A radon mitigation system is actually much simpler than you might think. Without getting into all the fancy verbiage of all of it and the types of systems, it's essentially a pipe that goes through your floor slab, whether it's drilled solely as a place for the pipe or through a submersible pump crock if you have one, since that's already a hole cut into the slab to the dirt. If it's a crawl space, plastic sheeting will be placed over the dirt floor if there isn't already, and the pipe would be installed through that sheeting to have a sole place to pull the radon gas from. Then there's a special fan that creates a vacuum beneath the home's foundation in which it captures and redirects the gas outside. Oftentimes you'll see these systems in place on homes, so when you drive by some, just take a look, as they tend to be 4-inch PVC pipes, depending on the home, that stretch from the ground along the side of the house and above the roof line. According to the Michigan Residential Code 2015, a radon vent pipe should extend at least 12 inches, 305 millimeters above the roof. The vent pipe should also be at least 10 feet, 3,048 millimeters away from any window or door openings, and 10 feet, again, 3,048 millimeters away from any opening into an adjacent building. How is Michigan involved in all of this? Michigan's unique geology with its rich concentrations of glacial till and limestone contributes to varying levels of radon gas across the state. Reports have shown that certain areas, particularly in the western and northern parts of the state, exhibit higher than average radon concentrations. Testing becomes a key step for homeowners to determine their home's radon levels, even if you are in the eastern and southern areas as well. I have helped people move all over southeast Michigan, and mitigation systems have been necessary in homes at each corner of the area. And the crazy thing is, your neighbor could have high radon levels, but yours are fine. The numbers are always fluctuating, as I mentioned, so if your neighbor does have one, your risks are higher, of course, so test frequently or throw a mitigation system in there for yours and your family's safety. The state of Michigan stated that 1 in 4 homes have a radon level that poses a significant health risk. Any home can have high levels of radon, whether it's new or old, sealed well or not at all, and with or without a basement. It's crucial to keep up on testing and get a radon mitigation system if the numbers are high. So you're buying a home. If the home has radon, should you just run away because I've just made a big deal about it and it's scary? Not necessarily. A lot of homes have radon throughout the country. A properly installed radon mitigation system can reduce radon levels by up to 99%. The system should be installed by a qualified professional, as it requires specific technical knowledge and skills to ensure it is effective and, of course, safe. After installation, the radon levels should be retested to confirm the system is working correctly. Some of them have built-in testers as well. Regular maintenance checks are also recommended to ensure the system continues to operate effectively, because there's times out there where people will install these mitigation systems and the fans will shut off for whatever reason, defects, whatever, and they don't follow up or re-look at it. A radon mitigation system and installation typically ranges from $800 to $2,500 depending on the complexity of this system for your home. It is a very small price to pay to ensure you and everyone in your home is safe from the tasteless, odorless, and smellless gas. Understand that radon fan motors typically last 5 to 20 years depending on how well they're installed and the quality of it, and most manufacturers offer a 5-year warranty as well. So If you're in Michigan and want to look into radon testing and mitigation systems, don't hesitate to reach out because I have several contacts and companies that can help you out. For those of you that watched all the way through, did you know radon gas was that present in homes? Drop your thoughts and experience in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the wonderful state of Michigan, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to be your go-to resource. Till next time.